What's good with you, baby? Hope you're feeling fresh. Hope you're feeling nice in this space. It's Friday on this day I'm recording. And I hope all is well with you, man. Let's talk about something real quick. Let's talk about insecurities and obsessions. Are you obsessed with something? Are you? Are you driven? Deeply driven to do something. Deeply driven to create something. Because I know I am, and I always have been. And the link between the two, insecurities and obsessions, are together. Whatever you are obsessed about, there's an underlying insecurity. Look at it for yourself, man. Think about it. Let's take some time to reflect sometimes. Everything in life is always on go, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. But sometimes ask yourself these questions, like, what is it about this particular thing that wakes me up in the morning? It's not to say that it's a bad thing, but you still want to be self-aware. Self-awareness is becoming less and less as the days go on. I'm noticing. It's good to be self-aware. You don't want to be self-conscious, but you want to be self-aware. There's a difference. It's always about balance. But anyway, let's talk about insecurities and obsessions. Why I say you have an insecurity if you're obsessed with something is because how would it make sense otherwise? If I'm secure about something, I wouldn't constantly have my attention on it. I wouldn't constantly have my focus on it. Why would there be a focus or an intention on something that I know is already secured? You know? But please don't get me wrong by saying you shouldn't have obsession. Please don't get me wrong by saying or thinking that I'm saying you shouldn't be deeply driven by something. You shouldn't be deeply passionate about something, because I think you definitely should, as a man or as a woman if you're watching it. Be passionate about something. Passions really make you who you are if you think about it as well. But that's going down a deeper rabbit hole. Let's talk about it really quick. For an example, myself, I always thought that I was going to be in the music industry. But what gave me that thought was, let's take it back to sophomore year in high school. I saw my cousin, got a younger cousin. He was creating music. And I was like, damn, this is pretty dope. This is intriguing. So I thought, since he's doing it, I can do it, you know? And naive of me, I thought I was already going to be good at it. So we created a song. I wrote a verse. And I was so proud of this verse. I wanted all my friends to hear it. I wanted everyone in the school to hear it. Everyone that I know, all my peers. I wanted them to hear this song that I created. Too bright right there. I wanted all my friends to hear this song. So we emailing it back and forth. Everybody listening to it. Everybody like, oh yeah, bro, that's dope. Oh yeah, bro. But in reality, they laughing behind my back. Now, of course, things always get back to you, ironically, that people was laughing about it. And the song sucked. If I'm keeping it a buck, the song was trash. But that created the insecurity. Me wanting to prove all them niggas wrong. That sparked it all for me. That sparked me to write every day, write tons and tons of verses, tons and tons of songs, listen to so much music, studying the art form, looking at different literary devices, all of this stuff, because I wanted to be the best writer so I can prove all them niggas wrong. So I want to be the best rapper I can be to shut them dudes up that was laughing about me. Another one. Years ago, 5 years ago, no one on the planet Earth would have the ability to convince me 5 years later I will be pursuing a career in fighting, pursuing a career in martial arts. No one on the earth would have been able to convince me of that. But I had an older cousin. He told me about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and how he wanted to go try this gym out. I never even heard of the sport. I never watched an MMA fight. I never watched UFC, none of that. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out with you. The day he went, I didn't go. I made an excuse. I was like, I ain't trying to do that shit. Fast forward a month later, I end up going. And I remember so vividly. It was a rainy day, bruh. So rainy. It was like raining in this pouring rain. I don't know what made me get up and go that day, but something was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go today. I don't care about the rain. I don't care about none of that. I can barely see. Windshield wipers barely working. I remember it, man. It's crazy. Walking in, drenched. And my current coach, he was like, oh, you knew you're a beginner, da, da, da. Like, he was so cool and nonchalant about it. He was like, all right, just sign these papers, da, 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 da. So I'm watching these guys roll and whatnot, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? One of the guys asked me, hey, you want to try it out? I'm like, all right. But going in, I thought I could fight. Going in, I thought I had hands. Going in, I thought I could do something to somebody. That created the insecurity. That created the obsession that I have with MMA now. Finding out or putting a magnifying glass on that what you call it? I know it's a weakness, but on that vulnerability, it's a word for it that I can't think of, but highlighting my vulnerability was everything that I needed to see, man. That created an obsession that I never had before. I've never been so passionate about such a thing because that day exposed a huge glaring vulnerability. So we do all these things to prove to others or prove to ourselves something. I just find it super interesting, man, when you really think about it. Because when you really think about it, who the fuck cares? Because everybody got their own problems. Everybody dealing with their own shit. Whatever. I just find it interesting that it has to be those two things. It has to be. I don't think you can have one without the other. I really don't. Like what popped in my mind, Kobe's obsession. I think Kobe's insecurity was wanting to be better than Jordan, not being as great as Jordan. Jordan was his idol. I would imagine he had his whole game like him. I feel like his obsession was wanting to be better than the greatest who ever do it, supposedly. It's just a funny thing to think about, man. Look at yourself, look at your own past experiences and see where your passions are now, see where your obsessions are now, and see where the underlying insecurity is. I think it's a fun exercise.